All right. Uh-oh. What's up, community? Welcome to the No Bull Podcast. I'm your host, Brianna Bull, and I'm bringing you everything basketball. How are we feeling? Are we shocked? Did we know all along? And I'm talking about the NBA. You know what? Matter of fact, before we get into that, we got a full agenda today, jam-packed. We'll be talking about Oklahoma City Thunder's road to the title run. We'll be talking about Oklahoma City Thunder, obviously. We're going to talk about the game recap, OKC season recap. We'll probably have like an NBA overall season recap. Like, how do we feel the NBA went this year? The highs and the lows. And then we'll have SGA Finals MVP. We'll talk more about him winning the Finals MVP and his season as a whole, and like some records he marked himself in history. Essentially, we'll talk about that, and then we'll also talk about Haliburton's injury, because that impacted me, and we're just going to talk about that injury and the future for that kid. And then I also wanted to talk about top injuries for this season, because it seemed like there's a lot of prominent superstars that have gone down with really tough injuries, because Achilles injuries, ACL, top two worst injuries that a basketball player can have. And so I wanted to just call out, as the season has wrapped up, I want to point out who's hurt and what that's going to look like entering into October when the preseason begins. Well, September, I think preseason starts in September. I could be wrong though. September, October, anyway. And then we'll talk about the NBA draft briefly, because that does start this week in 2 days, Wednesday. And then after we wrap up with the NBA, we can finally dedicate more time and attention to the WNBA. And so we're going to talk about, we're kind of going to start off, because me personally, am I waiting till now to hop on and start talking more about it? I'll be honest with you, it just, as much as I love basketball, watching women's basketball does not excite me as much as watching men's basketball. But I figure it doesn't excite me because I don't give it enough of a chance. If I'm watching a game, it's because it was put on not by me. And so I'm like, I need to lock more into this experience as a woman, as a basketball player. I want to explore all aspects of the game, and women have something to offer to the game of basketball, and I want to talk about it more. And now that the NBA is over, I will have a chance, because it's so much. Even though it's only 13 teams, apparently it's going to be 15 teams come 2026. There's only 13 teams in WNBA. I think that I can take on all that information thrown at, because following who's on what team, the stats, what's going on, if I want to be a true analyzer, fan of basketball, I need to dedicate my time and attention to more areas and believe that I have the bandwidth to do so. So I do. I believe I do. So we'll explore the WNBA, their page, the standings, roster, stats, June leaders, all the upcoming games for the week. We're also going to talk about the WNBA All-Stars voting, what that looks like, and maybe watch some highlights. So we have a full jam-packed session here, and we got a small window to get it all done. So let's get into it. Let's get started. All right, first on the docket is the Oklahoma City Thunder. Man, what a game. What a game. The first half had us all on the edge of our seats. They were going head for head, bucket for bucket. Even after Haliburton went down, the Pacers were still fighting for their lives. Okay? And they did not let up. I mean, they finished the half. At first it was like a low scoring game because, for fantasy, for the NBA. Oh my goodness, for the NBA. Ending the half with 40 points. I mean, you're on track to do 100 points. So I'm not going to say it was low scoring half. But both teams held each other around 20-something points per half, which, I mean, that's pretty normal. That's not bad. But OKC, the Pacers to finish up 1 with that 3-pointer by Andrew Nembhard, that gave the Pacers hope. Even after losing Haliburton, they had a little bit of hope. And then, we head into the third quarter and you start to see that team fall apart. And it was sad to watch, not going to lie. But as far as OKC is concerned, they had a Cinderella. Well, last year I think you could call them like that Cinderella team, Cinderella story. This year they were the favorite to win since the regular season was wrapping up. Was that 68 winning 68 games in the regular season, and then their run to the finals. You see them blowing teams out, foot on necks. You see these young guys with the chemistry, unmatched chemistry. And then they get crucial adds to their team with Alex Caruso and Isaiah Hartenstein, where you're bringing not only wisdom, tenure, championship experience from Alex Caruso, and then just the consistent rebounding front court of Hartenstein. You just see a lot of it. Only further elevated their team, right? And so them winning, well deserved. And then I saw some people just talking about a lot of these guys are new. And for example, Cason Wallace only being 2 years into the league and already with a championship. And some could argue he contributed a lot, only being second year into the league, first year pro. So it's pretty remarkable if you really start to think about it. What these guys were able to accomplish this season. Well earned, well deserved. For the game recap, I want to get these accurate stats fully. I have some things in mind. Okay. So we'll talk about Game 7 stats in case you missed it. Was it a Game 7 that we all hoped for and more? Absolutely. Absolutely was. Pull up the chat while that loads. Okay. Oklahoma City. They shot 35 for 87, so they were 40% from the field goal. They took 43s in the game last night. But 87 shots total. 27 of those were from Shea. And he only shot 29% last night. But and he took 12 threes. That's probably like the most 3-point shot attempts I've ever. He took all series, first of all, like 12 threes. He was letting that thing go. But his assist line, he had 12 assists last night, and that was huge. Huge. How engaged he managed to get other guys on his team. Lutavius Dort took 9 threes. That was one thing that stuck out to me, and I was like, bro, calm down. Chet Holmgren, we called it yesterday. He showed up today, 6 for 8 from the field goal line. 6 for 8 from the field goal, shooting 75%. He had 18 points, 5 blocks, 8 total rebounds. If you look at the plus and minus, actually, let me go ahead and share that with you. If you look at the plus and minus of the starters, everybody went plus. Even down to the bench, the second string, all of these guys were in the plus. And we were talking about yesterday that OKC had a lot on the line. And them getting blown out the way they did in Game 6, I was like, those guys are going to get their get back. Their get back for sure. Goodness gracious. 20, 18, 7, 9, 29, 10, and 10 from the starting 7. A lot of the lines that I called out yesterday, I want to say most of all of these for sure came to fruition, by the way. So if you know bull, you know ball. All right. Now let's look at the Pacers really quickly. Of course, Tyrese only 7 minutes, man. 7 minutes in, but Pascal Siakam. Well, first of all, let's talk about team totals. 70 shots. So they took 12 less shots. 17 less shots than OKC did last night. They were not given that many opportunities to score. We saw they were struggling. They had a ton of turnovers. How many turnovers did they have? 21 turnovers last night. Every time I turned around, they were turning the ball over. And OKC capitalized on that for sure. We saw a lot from Benedict Mathurin, which was expected. I'm a little disappointed, though, in the coaching staff and Rick Carlisle and players like Nesmith. I'm disappointed in them. And you know what? I don't want to put it all on the coaching staff because who knows the type of conversations or dynamics they have with players when it comes time to like hold them accountable or give them feedback and suggestions on what they should be doing on the court. But I just feel like once we headed into the third quarter, after TJ McCollum had 10 of their points in the second quarter, he had like all 10 of their points at one. Like they had 12 points scored only in the second quarter, I believe, and TJ had 10 of them. And by the third quarter they stopped going to him, which made no sense to me. I get he turned the ball over a little bit, but everybody was turning the ball over. That doesn't mean you stop going to him. Like I just saw a couple times where Nesmith, he not even left-handed, but he just kept looking to the left when TJ was on his right. It was like he wasn't trying to give him the ball. And that frustrated me because I'm like, why not feed the high hand? TJ's not even a selfish guy. He's taking shots that he knows that he can make. Another thing that I pointed out yesterday was Siakam, right? He shot 2 for 5 from the 3. I have no problem with that 40% three-point shooting, but one of the things I said was that I do not want to see Siakam trying to shoot threes, because once he starts trying to shoot threes, he moves away from what he's actually good at. He ended up going 5 for 13 from the field goal overall, shooting at 38%, at getting 16 points. I think I'm glad Benedict got his 24. Andrew got his 15. You feel me? I just think that Siakam, he starts to panic when he doesn't have another superstar on the court with him. He panicked when Haliburton went down, and you could see it. And the fact that when he starts taking threes just to take them, I think that hurts his team. He doesn't need to do that. If he's getting a cool three off of a couple skips have been made and someone kicked it out to him and he opened, he knocked it down, that's great. But he was forcing threes at the top of the key. I did not like that. And once he starts doing that, I'm like, yeah, they're in trouble. They're not. I think one thing about the Pacers is everybody has a certain thing that they bring to the team. And when that person is in that space and they're operating at a high level of what he has to bring to the team, then the team is good to go. But you lose Haliburton and other people are stepping up, but they're not accustomed. They just offensively struggle. You see them struggle without Haliburton, man. And that's why I said, like, if they didn't have, if the Pacers were to lose Pascal versus losing Haliburton, that's why it's like, okay, this is Haliburton's team. Pascal needs somebody else to be better. If we were to have lost Pascal instead of losing Hallie, I don't think it would have been as detrimental. I really don't. Personally. But you know what is detrimental for the Pacers is having Tony Bradley go out there and make like a few mistakes that he did. I was just like, bro, why is he out there on the court? I think they did poor subbing and they took a chance on him. And it was just not the best decision they could have made. And even with Thomas Bryant, like, they need more depth in their big man presence if they're going to, like, only play Miles Turner 23 minutes. All of their best bench players are guards / forwards. It just, by the time the third quarter, they did their best to hold on in the second quarter, and then they went away from what was working. And then the guys who think that they're, it just stopped working at some point. And it was sad to watch. It was really sad to watch. But exactly what I thought was going to happen happened. I would have loved to see the Pacers win. Don't get me wrong. I still feel vindicated. This is about me, by the way. I'm being really selfish right now. I feel vindicated that the Pacers even made it this far and took it to Game 7 despite all the odds, despite all the hate. But we knew this was going to happen. I'm sorry. We knew it was going to happen. I knew they was going to lose, bro. I did not bet on them to win. I'm sorry. Would have loved it, but nah. All right, so let's move on to the MVP, Mr. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. MVP. Shai. All right. I'm sorry, like, this guy, wow, okay, he's been a pleasure to watch. I think one of my favorite things about SGA, personally, is his pull-up jump shot. It's so refreshing, because not too many guys in the league utilize or take advantage of the pull-up jump shot at such a high caliber that he does. It's like easy money. I don't know why more guys. I'm hoping that the young kids out there that are looking up to these NBA players, I'm hoping that they see this man and they'll be like, let me shoot a pull-up jumper. Let that be my game. See how hard it is to stop that? Now, they were talking about what was, we talked about this yesterday, about what was on the line for Shai heading into this final game. And apparently there is this history. It's like a record or just a stat that only the greats have been put on, which is Michael Jordan, Shaq, and then this other guy from 87. I forget his name. I'll be honest with you. I'm sorry to that man. But apparently he's one of the only players ever in history with Michael Jordan, who did it 4 different times, and then Shaquille O'Neal. He's one of the only other guys in history to like win a scoring title, win MVP of the league, win in the regular season, have the best record team with the best record in the NBA season. Well, in the West, like, you know, they didn't have the best overall, did they? No, I think Cleveland did, but still, did they? I don't know. Best 68 games in regular season, and to win the chip. I said that right, and to win MVP of the finals. So hold on, let's recap it one more time. He's one of the only players ever to win the scoring title, to win MVP of the league. His team have the best record in the West in the regular season, win 68 games in the regular season, win the NBA championship, and become MVP final. The finals of the MVP of the finals. Like, come on, brother, man. And then to be such a humble, chill, like, guy who just, you could tell, yeah, he makes mistakes, but for Shea, it looks like it's not about the mistakes he makes, it's how he makes up for those mistakes. And that's the type of heart, the type of greatness that this league so desperately needs. I wish he could be the face of the league. I really do. But, I mean, who knows, actually? Like, the way the USA is looking, I'm not like, y'all know, y'all heard my thoughts about, but I'll say it again for those of you who are new to this stream, that I do not want hate to say it, do not want someone who's not born in the USA to be the face of the NBA league. But this country was built on, it's about different cultures coming together, and, you know, but I don't know if that's what the NBA wants. If eventually we move to that, and it so happen he becomes the face of the league, they probably gonna put him on the cover of 2K next year or this year. That's probably what's gonna happen. We'll see. I wanted to show y'all though his stats for the regular season versus his stats for the playoffs. And again, we're on statmuse.com. StatMuse is a wonderful source for stats. If you just like to catch up on certain players, you're having a debate and you got to prove somebody wrong, or you are gambling and you want to just look at a trend of a player to see what over and unders you should bet, StatMuse is the place to go. Not only is there a desktop version, there is an app. And the app is very highly functional. I love it very much. And it doesn't just have basketball, it has sports across a lot of sports and players and all stats that you need. So this is SGA, and like they show you position, their number, their age, their experience, how many all-stars, championships they have, how many all-NBA teams they have, everything you can imagine. Shea had averaged 32 points in the regular season, averaged 29.9 in the playoffs. His rebounds were around the same. His assists per game was around the same. Steals with 1.7. Assists per game, he had averaging 6.4, 6.5 in the playoffs. He played a little bit more, but it's around the same. And then field goal, he shot better field goal percentage-wise in the regular season, but, you know, playoffs, you're that guy on the team, you got to take a lot of shots. We get it. 3-point percentage, I mean, 28.3 versus his regular season of 37.5. Yeah. Free throw, like, honestly, it's not that different. He did exactly what everybody anticipated him to do. I think that's what really makes him great. I mean, obviously, it's fun to watch, like, TJ McConnell, who had, like, a pretty consistent season, was pretty regular schmegular, but then in the playoffs, he was that guy. Like, almost there, and they're like, what will we do without him? That guy. You see what I'm saying? And so, man, super fun to watch. He only had one turnover versus his 8 in game 6. Well deserved. 100% phenomenal season. This going down in the books. And I only see him getting better. This is not his peak. That's what's exciting. This is not Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's peak. And whatever OKC does, I don't know contracts, okay? But when I was looking at the free agency list, I do not remember any Thunder player on that list. So we can see continuity next year. Maybe a couple trades here and there, possibly. But it would be nice to just see the core of this team come back and see what they have to offer the league next year. If they keep the same team, I don't expect anything different except for them getting better. Getting so much better. If this team can stay healthy. If this team can stay healthy, I don't see, it's only up from here. All right. So that is exciting stuff. Let's move on to Haliburton. A moment of silence for Haliburton, bro. He was hated on. People was clowning him every which way. And some part of it is because I feel like he light skinned, so that never helps you. It's a blessing and a curse to be light skinned for many different reasons. But I just feel like they hated on this man. They hated on the Pacers for so long. And then you start seeing bandwagon people hopping on, really starting to believe in them. And then you even see his fight to become considered a superstar, despite being on Team USA and actually contributing at a high caliber and being crucial and essential to the team's performance. And then you see him being an all-star. Wait, when I say Team USA, I feel like I'm talking about FIBA, though. I'm not even talking about like Team USA. I'm talking about FIBA basketball. But anyway, just want to throw that out there. I'm pretty sure he was not on the USA basketball Olympic team, but he was on the FIBA team, like with Jalen Brunson and Anthony Edwards. And yeah. Anyway, he was an NBA All-Star, and this guy has been putting out crazy stats, crazy numbers, putting his name and his team on the map. And they still were like, yeah, no, he's not a superstar. Making on-the-line shots, making people believers. One crazy, can't believe that went in shot at a time. Okay? And so watching him go down like that, it was very sad. So I wanted to just play it real quick. Because an Achilles injury is no joke, man. I remember I had a college teammate, and she was really aggressive on defense. She was really fast. But you stopped seeing that when she came back from injury. That was one of the things she said. She was like, I was not the same after this. I haven't been the same since. And having an Achilles injury when there's a lot of lateral movement in NBA, like when it comes to NBA, I'm not sure about all other sports, but for NBA, or not NBA, basketball, for basketball in general, you exercise every muscle of your body. You have to do full body weights. Like everything gets used. So, when your Achilles, like, it's not a simple matter to come back from. And you always want to know what type of player you're going to get after a major injury like that. Like after Paul George broke his leg. I think it was on Easter. He broke his leg and he came back, and if anything, he was a better player when he came back. And then you'll see an injury like Klay Thompson with his ACL. I don't think he came back the same. I think he came back worse. Or then you have like Kevin Durant or Russell Westbrook. They get hurt. First of all, Westbrook is like an alien or something, because I feel like when he got hurt and came back, it was like so quick, and it didn't seem like he skipped a beat. It seemed like he was the same person. But it's just all these injuries that could happen. What kind of player are you going to be when you return? So, Haliburton going down like this and Achilles, I'm sure it's a mental thing too. Like, that would take my heart, bro. I'd be hurt. Have an amazing game 6, despite the injury. Come back game 7, and 7 minutes in, you get hurt. All right, let's watch.
The rebound. Haliburton pushes. Haliburton against SGA. One-on-one on that side. Nembhard kicks it out. Toppin. Good contest from Dort. Haliburton falls down. He looks hurt. Here comes SGA the other way. Inside and Williams.
Okay, hold on. Let's just look at it one more time. It looks like it was right where he caught the ball and he took that first step. And I don't know why the CC catches are on. I'm going to take those off. Okay. Ready? Boom.
Good contest from Dort. Haliburton falls.
And like, I'm not sure if it's the same leg. I think it's the same leg as his calf strain. It's possible that like the calf was weak. Because the calf was weak, it resulted in too much pressure to maybe made up. And I'm not a trainer or anything, but let's just keep watching. So SGA, Williams scores, and then you see the trainer come over. He tell, look at his face, bro.
Course, that strained calf, he's in pain, so emotional.
Yeah.
It's the right calf right away. He knew he was in trouble.
Yeah. Damn. Oh, if you see the slow motion, you can see it kind of like come out. Like, oh my gosh. That was nasty. You can literally see it. If you watch, like, you literally see it popped out. I'm sorry, Haliburton. I'm so sorry. It was heartbreaking to see. Like, that hurt. It really hurt my feelings. I'm not like, it hurts my feelings seeing anybody get hurt, but just all things considered, this was heartbreaking for me.
Just sick to your stomach for the young man.
Sick to your stomach, yeah.
We'll take a timeout.
Look at the team rallying, man. That Tupac shirt is hard, by the way.
Tyrese Haliburton in game 5 on the same court in the same spot. That's where he strained the calf. He played more later in the game. Clearly was
I can't watch it again. I can't. Y'all watch it for me.
Right away. He talked about the risk as you see the entire team surrounding him. He knew the risk, but it meant so much for him to be out there with his teammates. There was.
And I'm pretty sure it's an Achilles. Like, I think it's more than a calf strain. I think somewhere, I'm telling you, it's an Achilles. I read somewhere that they ended up calling it an Achilles. Yep, Achilles injury. It's a fracture. So Tyrese Haliburton's dad said his son has an Achilles injury. And Achilles, depending on, I guess, what grade, what level, does he need to get surgery like Jason Tatum did? Like, there's so many questions. I'm not going to say the good news is, but it did happen at the end of the NBA season. They're not expected back until September, October. Let's see. Injury recovery. 2 to 3 weeks, as long as 6 weeks after your injury. But it takes people return to normal activity 4 to 6 months, bro. Achilles injuries, 4 to 6 months, they take a long time. Like, and it's like, you are not the same person after. We got to really see how much heart this guy has to come back and just be better and not let this affect him. Now, Haliburton, it looked like he injured himself the same exact way. So obviously, like, there's certain, like, when I buy basketball shoes, I notice that, like, I scuff up the front of my shoes a lot. And I think it's just because that's the way my feet naturally drag when I make a layup, or like whenever I'm just out there, maybe the way I take off or whatever case may be, for some reason I'm always scraping the front of my shoes. So that leads me to believe, like, there's some things that you just naturally do as a player. So the way Haliburton takes off, he has like this slanted motion almost, and it's like natural to his game. And unfortunately, it's led to 2 injuries in the same way. So who knows if that's going to affect his mental and how he approaches the game. But if we think about Haliburton, he's not really like he'll drive to the basket. He has solid finishes to the paint, but that's not his game, you know? So I'm kidding. When he shoots the ball, he doesn't like get a lot of height anyway. He doesn't like leave off the ground very high. So will this impact his shot? I don't know. I'm just excited to see. I look forward to his recovery and to see what type of player he's going to be coming back. But 4 to 6 months, let's see. We're in January, we're in June, July, August, September, October. They'll probably hold off on playing him. I don't think he'll be back by the time the regular season starts, but maybe November, going into December, possibly. We can see some Haliburton in action middle of November, late November, early December, maybe by my birthday. That would be a treat. Happy birthday to me. Haliburton's back from injury. Who knows? Damn, I make everything by myself. So yeah, real quick though, while we're talking about the injuries, I wanted to just throw out the NBA injuries overall. And this is based by teams, filtered out by team injuries. And people I want to look at it, Jalen Johnson for sure. He suffered from a torn labrum in his left shoulder, and he did that in January, so he could possibly come back by the time preseason starts. And then Larry Nance Jr., I mean, he's a good player. He came from New Orleans, transferred into the Hawks this season, so we didn't really get to see him too much on the Hawks. But if they're going to lose Clint Capella, who's on the chopping block, he is free agent and he's on the chopping block, they're probably going to get rid of him. He had a terrible season. Very, 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 it's kind of like Clint needs to be somewhere else. But a hand injury. I've had a hand injury. Those are quick to come back from, but it's the most awkward injury you can ever have. Like, your hand is hurt. It's not even, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I've fractured my hand before. It was the oddest injury of my life. But, because it's kind of like there isn't really physical therapy for it. Like, there is, but it's not. Like, you kind of just got to let it heal and then just move it around. I don't know. Anyway. Jaylen Brown, a right knee arthroscopic debridement procedure. What's wrong with his knee? Knee injuries are tricky because they can linger. You gotta treat it really well. And then Jason Tatum, Achilles, torn Achilles, bro. They got him coming back February 1st of 2026. Shee. That's next year. Wow. Okay. Sorry, Williams, chilling. Knee. Cameron Johnson back. Cameron Johnson, man. At first, I felt like I loved Cameron Johnson, but he sold this season because I feel like he knew he was on a sucky team. I thought he was going to get traded or something the way he was playing. I was like, because I drafted him. He did well when he played, but he did not play that much. And that really impacted my team and really pissed me off. Had him on IRs, on and off. But I love him as a player. I would love to see him on a different team. Whoever's on the Brooklyn Nets, free them. I want to free them shirts for real. Free them from. But a back injury is always tough because your back really is connected to a whole other all different other parts of your body. So, and then D'Lo, ankle. I think D'Lo's in the free agency too. It would be nice. I wonder how he felt going back to the Nets. And if he's going to try to leave. Because that was kind of weird seeing him go back. But I feel like the best D'Angelo Russell I've seen play basketball, D'Lo, was when he was on the Nets. So, who knows there? But his injury, ankle. Damn, it just seemed like everybody on their team hurt, bro. They just didn't want to play on his team no more. That's what it was. All right, Trey Jones. He's no longer in a walking boot, which is good. I really like Trey Jones. He came from the Spurs. You could see he was kind of falling off. They weren't really using him as much. Like they were focusing more on other players. So when he went to the Bulls, I feel like he was he actually did good for the time that he did play with them. So I can't wait to see him again. I like the Bulls team overall. Like if I could have one of my favorite teams in the league, it's probably like the Bulls. Definitely. But when Zach LaVine left, I was like, darn. Because Zach LaVine's one of my favorite players, too. Anyway, we're getting off topic here. Injury. And then Lonzo, when is this man not hurt? But he won't require surgery on his sprained right wrist and expects to have a normal offseason. We hope so, bro. We really freaking hope so. Because, my goodness. You are a fragile young man. You need strength in them bones. And then Ayo Dosunmu, no longer wearing a brace. So that's good. Because he's a great player. I see amazing potential for that young man. No matter what team he's on. So, okay. Darius Garland, toe. So he most likely to miss. That's big for Cavaliers. He's such a key scoring piece. But, I mean, they still got Spider. I think we should expect some shakeup with Cleveland. For sure. Definitely. We'll see. And then Sam Merrill. Neck. Man. Kyrie Irving. My guy. ACL. But are optimistic that Ivory could return by the start of January. Reported by Shams. So, next year, he's a little older. But we've seen Kyrie out on injury before. This is nothing new to us, but the type of injury it is with an explosive, aggressive, finish at the rim type of player to come back from a knee injury, I really hope this does not impact his game in any type of way. But he's in great hands. He's leaving the team in great hands with Cooper Flag. If that's really what's going to end up coming to fruition for them. That's exciting stuff. And then Russell Westbrook, he will decline his 3.5 player option for the 25 to 26 season. Oh, snap. That don't got nothing to do with his injury. Wow, he's declining his player option. He is on the free agency. Uh-oh. Breaking news. Russell Westbrook goes to the Houston Rockets. Can you imagine? I can't. That'd be crazy. That'd be nutterballs. Okay. Isaiah Stewart with his knee. I always thought he was like a solid big. Not really anything that we need to have a long conversation about. But yeah. And then Jaden Ivey, man. He been out the entire time. Imagine if they had Jaden Ivey in the playoffs. Seeing him go down and how much he loves Jesus. I'm not trying to show partiality, but that's our fellow brother in Christ. All right? I thoroughly enjoy talking and hearing him talk. And how much better he got. And all that he had to offer the Pistons. One of my favorite players in the league, bro. I cannot wait to see him come back. And he went down in May. So, and he's a young guy. I could see him coming back at the start of the season. Oh, I hope so, man. Okay. Brandon Podojemski. He went Tuesday. I saw him at the Warriors, the female Warriors games, supporting the women's sports. So that's pretty cool. He's always been a solid guy. I feel like any team he plays on, he's going to be like one of those old heads like Caruso one day. You feel me? Like, that's the vibes he gives me. But wrist surgery, I'm not too worried or concerned about that. Moses Moody, UCL in his right thumb. Sheesh. And it's Stephen Curry, man. He's been cleared for light on-court workouts and will be reevaluated again on Saturday. But that was on May 14th, so Steph probably going to come back regular, ready to go. When is Steph going to retire? Who knows? But he gives me these vibes. Like, once he retires, he's going to become like a golf pro. Like, he's just going to be doing a lot of more side quests and stuff. He gives me that vibe. And then KD, he walking around. He look fine. We don't really got to talk about that. Jock Landale, not really, man. So here's the comment about Tyrese. He does not expect to return until next year for playoffs. Expect to undergo surgery repairing a torn right Achilles tendon. He's not expected to come back until after the playoffs start next year, bro. The Pacers without Tyrese Haliburton for an entire season? My gosh. Okay, Dorian Finney-Smith on June 12th, he had a successful surgery on his left ankle and expected to be ready for training camp. Yeah, I don't worry about Dorian. And he's going to be the Lakers going to be great next year with Dorian. I think I love how Dorian plays, bro. He's just one of those guys, like, you need a guy like that on your team. He's going to do all the fundamental basics. He knows he's not the best player on the team. He doesn't, even when he was on the Nets, it seems like he was one of the best players on the team. He was still just solid, just showing up doing what he needed to do. Zach Edey had restabilized his left ankle and be reevaluated in 4 months. I mean, he's a young guy. Yeah. Ja Morant, hip. Finished the season. Blah, blah, blah. Yo, he just needs to do better as a player for his team, for himself, for his fans. Hip injuries are no joke, though. I had a hip injury, and it's like touch and go. Like, one day you're fine, completely fine, and then out of nowhere you'll wake up, you'll do a practice, and your hip is like feels like it's back to where it started, and you're like, bro, what's going on? So hip injuries are really, really tricky. Very, very tricky. You could think you're healed, and then it's like out of nowhere you're not. So, Jalen Wells, wrist and concussion, boy, going through it. Look, the whole Grizzlies team is up in the air for me, especially with Santi Aldama as a free agent. Where they're going to end up. I don't think they're going to have that great of a team going into the new season. I don't think they're going to have such a great, I think they're going to kind of fall down. I don't think they're going to rise up. I think other teams are going to just do better than them come this season. But we'll see. Could be wrong. But if you know bull, you know ball. Okay, the Heat. Scary Terry, yo. He's going to come back, but if there's other guys on the team stepping up and he looks like he coming off the bench for some type of time, you could see him on a decline. I don't know how old Terry Rozier is, but sometimes he just gives me the impression that he's checked out. He's only 31. Brother be playing like he been in the league for like 20 years. Like, the way he be playing, sometimes I be like, Terry, yo. Why are you sometimes a dog, sometimes not? Dame Lillard, torn Achilles. All the top. That's why I wanted to talk about injuries, bro. We got Jason Tatum, Tyrese Haliburton, Damian Lillard, Kyrie Irving. Hurt. My heart, bro. I can't take it. Achilles and ACL, Jaden Ivey and Jaylen Brown. They're like hurt. My heart, bro. Look at the New Orleans. Look at this. They be saying that New Orleans is cursed, bro. Cursed. Brandon Boston, ankle. Kelly Olynyk, left heel. Bruce Brown, knee. Jordan Hawkins, back. BC, ankle. CJ, foot. Zion, back. Shoulder tear for Trey Murphy III. Herbert Jones, successful surgery. DeJounte Murray, I forgot he tore his Achilles too, bro. But it was so early on, so him coming back for the regular. Look, New Orleans, we gonna just say a prayer for y'all. Heavenly Father, please cover this team. We don't know what's going on for them, but we hope for better this season. Because this is scary. Like, Brandon Ingram left there. And he hasn't been hurt since, has he? I don't know. I'm just saying. Oh, yeah, Jalen Suggs to ACL, I think. But, you know, Orlando just got Desmond Bain, so I'm not really worried for them. And then Mortiz, I would love to see him come back. Ready to go. I don't know how useful he's pretty useful. He's a useful guy, but you know, we're gonna see. And then 76ers, sheesh. See Tyrese Maxey, he'll be back, ready to go. I'm not worried about him. When I say he's like probably my favorite player in the league right now. PG received injections in his left abductor muscle. PG a clown, and a lot of kids coming up right now really respect PG. And I'm not saying don't, but he's a clown to me. Jared McCain's supposed to be coming back. He been out a minute. So we'll see. We'll see. That's a pretty long list too. So his left pinky. Now I have sprained my left wrist. I'm left-handed as well. But I've also broken my pinky on my right hand. It's a little different than your dominant hand, but non-dominant pinky, it has not quite healed the same. But I also didn't like take the physical therapy completely serious. But like with De'Aaron Fox, I think he's going to take it serious, especially with it being his non-dom hand. But I'm interested to see like how much does that impact his shot, stuff like that. I'm not gonna lie. Let's move on from the injuries. I spent a long time on it, longer than I should have. But I was just thinking about all these key top guys that are hurt and out, and that just to wrap up, right? So let's wrap up the NBA season this year. The NBA season was hard to watch. It just seemed like it was so many injuries, and we had to watch a lot of guys come off the bench and really show the team why they are in the league. Because sometimes you be watching like, this man gets paid millions of dollars to do this. Okay. You know? So, but there's a whole bunch of things that go into that. But I'm just saying this year was like the year for the bench. This was the year of the bench. Okay? Whether there was a team that didn't have a great bench and the team suffered because of it, or they had an amazing bench and that's why the team got so far. It was like, who's stepping up while all these guys are hurt? Guys like Isaiah Collier, Misi, who you could see a lot of rookies were relied on this year due to injuries of prominent players. So Misi, like on the Pelicans, he had to step up and be a big man that they needed since all their big men were hurt. I'm trying to think of some other key guys that had to step up because somebody else was hurt. Even Andrew Nembhard with Tyrese was hurt earlier in the season. Or what's on my mind for injuries? We saw Peyton Pritchard break out as an explosive guy, holding it down from off the bench, not necessarily because of injury. We had we could argue Wemby. Because when Wemby went down and Zach Collins was traded off the team, I don't know how to say his name, but like Muksakovicia. Don't know how to say his name. So sorry. And then they also had Chris Bassey. He had to step up. So, and it was just guys that you could take. No, now I'm about to tap into fantasy, but it was just like a lot of injury this year, and it was tough to watch. And you would see people like, who the heck is that on the court? Because you're just like, everybody else is hurt, bro. Wabusale, when Joel Embiid was out, Paul George is out, Jared McCain was out. You feel me? Like, you saw people on the 76ers really had to step up. And you're like, bro, what's his name? Edwards on the Sixers. So, yeah. Very interesting season. We saw teams that we thought was going to go far and do really well and dominate the East, like the Celtics end up not dominating the East at all. And then you see guys like on the West, like Anthony Edwards talking all that crap and just got exposed in the playoffs. And I would just say this season overall, I'm hoping next season it won't be so many injuries that maybe the league could change. Oh, and also the NBA All-Star Game. Trash. Absolutely hated it. And so I understand they wanted to try a new format, but at the end of the day, I think the culture within the league needs to shift. We need to see these guys actually care. Sometimes I'll be like, do y'all even care? Does it even matter? Or are you just showing up for the check, for the shoe deal, for the hype? Like, let's play ball. Let's hoop. And these teams, these coaching staff, these trainers, don't enable these guys. Don't enable them with these, like, soft injuries and them sitting out all this time. Like, DTD every day. Every day someone was DTD. That means day to day. GTD, game time decision. I wish they put a rule in place where teams had to announce whether someone's playing at least 24 hours before the game starts. It should not be like, oh, that's one thing about fantasy, and we will talk about it. My absolute least favorite thing about fantasy is if there's a game, you have to, like, all your lineups have to be set up before the first game. So if there's a team and a guy that's on your IR, your bench, and he's hurt, and they don't play until 8:30, but the first game of one of the people on your roster is at 7, and they still haven't told you whether or not this person's going to play or not, you can't even move them off the IRs. Or sometimes you're like, okay, should I move them and drop this person who potentially could have a good game, who potentially could give me points, and this guy could potentially be out? We don't know, because they wait until the last minute, to like 30 minutes before the game, to let us know, like, oh, yeah, we are playing. Gotcha. Glad nobody got hurt. I did get hurt, okay? It's very, very frustrating. and I'll stop with the tangent real quick with that one. Like, the game just wasn't that fun. It was cool to see guys who don't normally play, like, get a chance to play, but it's like, let's be real, we're not here for y'all. We're here for the stars, and they just keep getting hurt. I don't remember the league being this soft. It's like, how are y'all getting hurt? Like, everybody shooting threes, how y'all even getting hurt? Like, what? Sometimes somebody will play through a whole game, and then it'd be like the next time the person's out, and they like making up injuries. That was another thing. It felt like the league be making injuries up sometimes, and they'll say like hip or back, and you be like, bro, they played the whole game. Like, did they play through their injury, or did you just want to rest and you're trying to like go through the loopholes of what the league standards and policies are? Because there's only a certain amount of games you can sit out in a season before, like, there's a consequence. I'm not sure what the consequence is, and I can't remember how many. It's like you have to play a certain amount of games or you'll get fined. I think the team will get fined. So it's like they were trying everything in loophole. Like, you can't just rest your player. Like, you can have rest games, but you have to be smart, because there's only so many games a person can rest. Consider it, like, it has to be like a reason that they're hurt. And I just feel like sometimes these organizations are making up reasons. You could just tell, bro. So this season sucked. I'm not going to lie. Like, this season was not that fun. It was so unpredictable. And while the spontaneity is always fun. When it comes to basketball, like, why is one night you getting blown out and the next night you blowing someone else out? And it's like, it was just very unpredictable. It was very wishy-washy, and it was due to a lot of injuries. So this season was not the best, but the playoffs were fun to watch for the most part. And this final game final series was a lot of fun to watch, aside from the injury. So wrapping up with that, we're about an hour in. I do want to dedicate these last final minutes to the WNBA. Darn. And specifically, this might seem a little silly, but, well, not silly, but like, let's talk about the WNBA. And I wanted this to be a moment of like, we're going to the beginning of getting to know the league, the rules, understanding the game as a whole, and kind of just seeing how far they've come in the 28 years they've been established, and like where they're at now. And so obviously the WNBA started to pick up more and more, especially when women's basketball, college basketball, especially when they started getting paid, the athletes started getting paid, and then you started seeing really good players in college, and then even in the WNBA. But it just seemed like it really started the anticipation of greatness coming out of, I'm just going to say it, Caitlin Clark, coming out of college and then joining the WNBA, bringing so much fan base and support from one player, and then just seeing it spiral into where it's at now. And you see the WNBA getting more exposure, and not just more exposure, but because of that more exposure, now they're getting media deals. I think a lot of it comes down to media deals. Okay, like what networks are broadcasting your games and where. And we're starting to see them going more international so that they can have more people tuning in, more people seeing them, and hopefully it will go from there. But the players have to meet us in the middle with the caliber of play that they're bringing to the league. We cannot get wrapped in comparing the WNBA to the NBA. We need to look at the WNBA in its own space, because we can't expect the same type of entertainment from the WNBA that we get in the NBA. And I will be the first one to say I am one of those people who was comparing. I was like, I don't watch the WNBA because it's boring. Like, I was looking at it, I'm like, bro, this is so boring. But then I started thinking about it, like, I'm looking at it boring as opposed to, like, I'm expecting back-to-back threes, someone dunking, hitting them with the tough moves, all this other stuff, when instead I should be embracing and appreciating the WNBA for what it is. Now, I don't watch it enough to fully know what the league has to offer, but from my experience as a basketball player, the WNBA, women's basketball is fundamentally sound. We have actual basketball taking place. All right. And that's what we should celebrate, is how fundamental. It's not about just like fancy plays or making a whole bunch of shots or dunking and stuff. Like, you can really see what basketball is about when you watch women play, because there's more intent with the plays. There's more skill. We see like skill from like a point aspect of maybe boxing out, rebounding. It matters more if a woman travels, like, it's just, what am I trying to say? They actually fight, they're actually hooping because they don't do it for the money. I think like the NBA is tainted in that aspect. It's definitely about money and clout, but the WNBA, it has the potential to be about basketball. So I want to learn more about the WNBA, get more into it. And now that the NBA is over, I am going to be tuning into WNBA games now and actually watching, getting to know these women, getting to know the teams, the play styles, the culture, all of that. And I'm glad I'm getting into it now, and I don't want to be tainted by outside perspectives and stuff like that. Like, I don't watch what analysts say about the WNBA. So there's no bias. Like, I don't have any rose-colored glasses on. I'm just fresh in, right? And so I wanted to just make sure we're all on the same page about the WNBA. And they have a fact page because I wanted to know, like, how many teams are there currently, how many games, blah, blah, blah. We already talked about when it was established. It was established April 24th, 1996. But the actual first game, the first season kicked off in 1997. So, and when they launched, they had 8 teams. Now they evolved and they have 13 teams, 6 in the Eastern Conference and 7 in the Western Conference. And when I was Googling my Googles, and even right here, 15 teams will play in the 2026 season, where they're going to add Toronto, Canada, which is fun, and then Portland. So they're going more northeast. So, or just north, because, Canada's above us, but like northeast vibes. You feel what I'm saying? Like Toronto. Anyway, like, how exciting is that? How exciting is that? So they got Atlanta Dream, and it looks like it's all, they got mixed. Oh, they're going in order alphabetically, but it's the Atlanta Dream, Chicago Sky, Connecticut Suns, Dallas Wings, Golden State Valkyries, the Indiana Fever, Las Vegas Aces, Los Angeles Sparks, New York Liberty, Minnesota Lynx, Phoenix Mercury, Seattle Storm, and Washington Mystics. So it looks like they mirror pretty much every area except for Nevada. So NBA doesn't have a Nevada team, so that Las Vegas team is dope. It's cool. They got a New York team, an LA team, Phoenix, Washington Mystics, like the Washington Wizards. That's tough. Seattle. I know there was talks of maybe getting a Seattle team for the men, but stay women. Toronto, Portland is there, and then the Atlanta Dream. So that's tough. They pretty much got all over in major cities. And then they play 44 games. That was my original question and what brought me to this fact page. But 44 games, and they start from May to October, which is like ideal, right? Because they're starting when the NBA playoffs take off, and then they end right when the NBA season begins. So if we can get into this cadence of locking in this time with the WNBA, I would love to get into that. And then eventually next year, I want to start playing WNBA fantasy and trying to see who's out there playing it, maybe starting leagues of my own, trying to get guys to play. Maybe not do it for money, just do it for regular, or end up doing it for money. Who knows? I've been a commissioner of the league before, so I look forward to being a commissioner again. I already know what I can do better going into this. And then on how many players are on that WNBA roster? There's 11 players, maximum of 12. And then they play 10-minute quarters, and they have 24-second shot clocks. So the game is shorter, 40-minute games, similar to college, and but their shot clock is 24 as opposed to college. I believe college is 30. So there's the rule book. I'm not gonna download that right now or look into that just yet. It's baby steps. All right, this is like our first date, us in the WNBA here. We're going on our first date. All right. But yeah. So aside from just that, I was looking at the Commissioner's Cup because I was curious what was up with that. Road to the Cup. So the Lynx headline Commissioner's Cup. It's presented by Coinbase. The defending Cup champion Minnesota Lynx have clinched their second straight appearance in the championship game, and they'll host the Indiana Fever Tuesday, July 1st at 8 p.m. on Amazon Prime Video. Now, I think my mom has an Amazon account, so I'm going to try to lock that in so I can watch this game. I don't know how you can get to the Cup, though. Tell me about the Cup. Let's go about the Cup. Oh, see, look, we got another fact page. We love this. This is educational for all of us, all right? This is the WNBA. Whoa. About the Cup, baby. About the Cup. Okay, tell me about it. What is there to learn about this Cup? So the Commissioner Cup is an annual in-season competition. It features 36 games scheduled from June 1st to the 17th. So the team from each conference with the top record in the Commissioner Cup's games will compete for the $500,000 prize pool. In addition, Coinbase has committed $120,000 in cryptocurrency to the prize pool, which includes $5,000 for each player in the championship game. And the title game will play on Tuesday, July 4th. Okay, so right off the bat here, 36 games. So 36 out of the 44 games that they play, it matters for the championship cup, and it's based on your conference. So when we go to the standings, we'll probably see who was number one in their conferences, because apparently we're looking at Eastern and Western. It looks like Indiana took home that Eastern Conference title, and then, or is it bit like, I'm confused. I'm already kind of confused. Okay. And it looks like the Minnesota Lynx, who have the number one record in the entire organization, they are 12-1 right now. So they have already played in 13 games. So I guess I'm confused where this 36 game schedule comes from. But why am I already looking stressed out about this? I'm already stressed out. Like, wait a minute. What was the first game? When was the first game? Okay, little history. It began on June 1st. Okay. When did the format change? So each team will play one game against each other, and every team in their conference a total of 5 games. Oh, so I think they're saying there's 36 games played in total to contribute to this cup game, not like 36 games in for each team. I don't know what I was thinking. So tiebreakers. Oh gosh. Well, maybe we don't need to look at the tiebreaker because it doesn't matter. But who won last year? Oh, the Lynx. Nice. Tough. New York Liberty won the year before that. 2022 was Las Vegas Aces. Why am I not surprised by all of this? And then the Storm. The GOAT, bro. She's a GOAT. That's tough. So the Seattle Storm were the first ever to win it. Then the Vegas got it, then New York Liberty, and then Minnesota Lynx. Now Minnesota has a chance to probably make WNBA history in this Commissioner Cup and win back-to-back against the Fever. And I really hope that Caitlin and Aaliyah Boston take their hearts. I hope so. That would be so fun. But yeah, let's look at the standings. So Indiana, they won 4-1, and they ended up losing to Atlanta Dream. Looked like New York Liberty was really close to getting them. So I guess that's where I should have read the tiebreakers. Oh, because they lost to Indiana, looks like that's why Indiana ended up at the top, probably. That's probably how they determine tiebreakers. Like, whoever you tie with, did you win or lose to them, maybe? That's my best guess. Atlanta, then it was the Mystics. And in Connecticut, looks like Connecticut's struggling. Maybe that's why the girls be brawling. Okay, I got a little bit, like 10 minutes left. I gotta kind of lock back into work. I've been on this lunch break. Okay, so, and then on the Western Conference, ooh, it looks like it was a little bit more competitive. Why is it always that the West is always better than the East? Like, why would it be like that? Why, like, I don't understand. But anyway, looks like Dallas is struggling. Oh my gosh. But 5-1, 4-2. There's a huge difference there. It didn't look like anybody really had to try too hard. Didn't look like the Lynx had too much competition going on. These are the Golden State Valkyries, the Los Angeles Sparks. I'm trying to remember their names already. Has to be LVA. Looks like Las Vegas Aces, and then the Dallas Wings, the Phoenix Mercury, Seattle Storm. Wow. Thank you, Lord. I feel like because I'm praying to the Lord, like, please help me retain this information. Like, it's one thing to look it up. It's another thing to retain it. It's a lot to take in. But this is exciting. Okay. Oh, another thing. I wanted to show you the All-Star game. So the WNBA All-Star game, I don't know when it actually is, but the voting for who we decide gets to play in the front court and then the guards is Saturday, June 28th. So I figured during the course of this week, I'll be watching WNBA games and I'll be recapping them, talking about them, things like that, while I'm also watching for trades for the NBA, and we will talk about the NBA draft come Wednesday. But I am so excited because by Friday, June 27th, I will be locking this in. I wanted to at least watch it a little more, watch some highlights, watch some games before I just start making decisions. Because if you go down here, you can sort them by everything, even by fantasy points. That's exciting stuff because fantasy points looks way different. That's a whole nother bag. I cannot wait to talk fantasy with y'all. Like, that's going to be like the heart of this podcast. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, so this is sorted by points, like who leads the league in points. So that's exciting, but you can also sort it by assists, rebounds, blah, blah, blah. Already can see the top 10 women. Well, we'll do top 12 because it's like, it's rows of 6. I could hearing a lot about Nafisha Collier, Aja Wilson, or is it AJ? Aja, see, I'm probably butchering names already. Stewie! I've loved her since UConn, bro. She reminds me of Della Dawn is like the female Kevin Durant, but she could be like low-key a female Kevin Durant too. Like, come on. But Kelsey Plum, but I shouldn't be comparing them to men, bro. This is where I'm so sorry. Shouldn't make it all about it's no comparison. They're their own person. They're their own players. Kelsey Plum, Sabrina. I love Kelsey since she came out of Washington. It was cool seeing her and Markelle Fultz both come out and be number 1 draft picks for their class and come out and have like amazing games. Like, it was just cool to see, and they're both left-handed. So Kelsey Plum used to be my background from my cell phone. Really, really loved watching her play. Okay, Sabrina. Alicia Gray, Caitlin Clark, Brittany Sykes, Satu Sabali, Jackie Young, Skylar Diggins, and Paige Bukiers. All these women. I'm going to be on the lookout for y'all, okay? I cannot wait to get to know y'all more and just to see, how great you are. Damn, Caitlin leading with 8.9 assists, but Alyssa is right behind her, bro. She playing for the Phoenix Mercury, 14.4 assists, 4 points, 8.9 assists, 7.2 rebounds. Shorty hooping. And she's a forward? That's tough, dummy. Tough. Well, I feel like I'm ready to love her. Golly, I've been missing out. on y'all. I've been sleeping on y'all. Everybody else is too. All right, y'all, we sleeping on them. If you're not sleeping on them, great. I'm glad you're here too. Let's talk, Sleeping on them. Okay, so I'm really excited to dig in. Tonight is Minnesota Lynx play tonight versus who they play? Schedule. Let's go schedule. The Washington Mystics, and they're at the Washington Mystics, so they'll be in DC tonight. They already here, or maybe they're on their way. Minnesota's on the West Coast, so I imagine they're already staying at their hotels. I hope y'all enjoying DC. Maybe you went to go see the cherry blossoms. Who knows? Is it the cherry blossom season? I don't know. It's hot outside, so I have to go. I am pushing the clock now, but I'm excited. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 games tonight. Los Angeles Sparks versus Chicago Sky. We got Atlanta Dream versus the Dallas Wings. And Indiana Fever. Oh, that's tomorrow. Oh, these games are tomorrow. I'm tripping. I'm sitting here they play today. Bro, there's no games on today. No basketball for me tonight, folks. I'm tripping. I'm sorry. I'm so excited. You can see my excitement. So, guess tomorrow we will be tuned in. In the meantime, I will be looking into more stats, more about the WNBA, and maybe we could do some. We'll just see. We'll see about tomorrow. So, I look forward to that. It has been a pleasure talking with you about basketball. Basketball brings me so much joy. Yesterday I've had a couple new subscribers, people I don't even know, commenting on the stream, so it's really exciting. I plan on starting to make edits to videos and starting to push, because I think that's what's going to really bring more visibility to my channel in addition to just streaming. But I'm streaming because I'm trying to practice, right? I'm trying to get comfortable in this environment. It's so new to me, and I just appreciate everyone's patience, love, and support so far, and to all the community, everyone who's taken time to listen, and even to the end of this broadcast. Like, it really truly means a lot to me. I'm so grateful and appreciative for you, and I'm grateful and appreciative for all the people that do not know me but come to know me and come to love talking about basketball alongside with me. Like, this is a space for basketball. Anybody's take is welcome. You could talk crap, you could disagree, you can agree. I want to hear what you have to say, and I'm really looking forward to busting out more content, busting out every single day. This brings me so much joy. My Uncle Dre, he say, don't let nobody steal your joy. All right, so just remember, if you know bull, you know ball. So thanks, everyone. Enjoy your day.